to play.
Okay, YouTube, we are here with another classic. The World Is Not Enough, or what I sometimes call it as Twine. A lot of places refer to it as Twine. It's just, acronym, I believe that word is. So part of the system was, setting all this up, and unfortunately, I have a bad controller ROM pack thingy. It's ROM, it's RAM. But yeah, it doesn't seem to want to save this. So it works well on the emulated cartridge that I have because you can just hit reset and it saves your progress. But this I did on the original cartridge and it's pretty cool. I did a previous review on this, but I don't think it went this in depth. So here I show you the difference in the missions and just I'm going to go more into the general tactics that you could use with this game and the games that it was harder to use those tactics in around the period of this time, such as Doom and such. So yeah, it's basically just teaching you the controls. It was what it was. You have a controller, you don't have a keyboard, so yeah, you're stuck with what you got. But it worked for what it was. They were a little confusing sometimes. To this day, if I don't play this game for a little while, I may forget what the controls are. So here's some needless plot for you.
I retrieved the money. No doubt Sir Robert will be pleased to see it again.
I didn't come just for the money. The report you sold King was stolen from an MI6 agent who was killed for it. I want to know who killed him.
I'm just a middleman. Take the money.
Your last chance. Give me a name.
You still threaten me, even without your weapon?
Don't shoot!
Here I'm showing off the controls a little bit, as well as just the aim. I felt like the strafe and such was a lot better in this versions than the first, which was of course GoldenEye. It was of course better than GoldenEye because you could jump in it and there were just more variables, like these civilians being here is cool. There's more interaction. The graphics were generally better for, I think at their height it was like 68K or something on these cartridges. 68 megabytes on these cartridges or something like that. So yeah, it's virtually nothing, and they did a lot with nothing. We're going to go through both versions of this, so you're going to see this level played twice. One is going to be on a harder setting, and that's what I didn't touch on in the beginning, was just more gameplay. We're also going to do some gameplay with the computer, and eventually I hope to get Bob A, who comes before any other Bob, over here to play this game with me. We've previously done Perfect Dark, and we did Mario Tennis, and a few other Let's Plays there.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
To be honest, I definitely could have done without that aiming when you have to use certain things on other things, you should be able to just go in front of it and use it. But yeah, in some instances you have to legit aim, which is odd. But here you can see this really nice smooth motion of me slicing the pie, as it were. It's basically a way to clear a corner. Here I'm not slicing the pie, but I'm also jumping out. And yeah, cue Denise Richards and a cutscene. Okay, so as per usual, larger difficulty, even in things like Lion King back in the day, you know, gave you more tasks. So Lion King basically gave you
The
more
name's Bond.
levels
James Bond.
if the harder level that you picked. So this thing just gives you more tasks. The harder, you don't really get much of anything. I'm sure there are Easter eggs in here, like there are in most. For example, GoldenEye, there were a lot of Easter eggs. But for me, one of the bigger pluses of this is that you're able to skip through some of these scenes. And those of you who frequent my video game videos will know that that's incredibly important to me. I've played Zelda Ocarina of Time, for example, a million times, and it kills me that I cannot just cut through those scenes. But I can't, even on the remake of it, even on Switch. They don't have the ability to do that. And it's just like, why? I know the plot, I just want to play the game, you know? So, it's deeply appreciated. I deeply appreciate that this is what they did here. So, also you'll notice that I'm losing health faster, because it's harder. There's a few more enemies. Well, actually, there's a lot more enemies, it seems. And yeah, it's a lot to react to. So, this is the first level. It's relatively simple. This particular difficulty is relatively simple, and I always go back for that guy before I go in there. But yeah, in the easier levels, I memorized where everybody is, but on these ones, not so much. I'm unsure why I do this. I have a feeling that's a holdover from the GoldenEye one where you have to go through the stalls. Anyway, yeah, so at some point, I'm going to go over to the VCR thing there. I think they call it video surveillance. Let's find out.
Don't shoot!
Bond, we're under attack. Find Sir Robert.
The automatic security door system is damaged. Can you reach the manual override, sir?
Here, you better take this.
This level is particularly cool because it's teaching you a few things to remember where enemies are. This is not, although it's level 2, it's definitely not a simple level. You can fail your mission by hitting the guards, and these guys just kind of spawn at certain times. The guards will fight them, but sometimes they kill the guards, so you just have to be on guard, I suppose. So here I demonstrate the entire idea of a shotgun coming up right here. There's a group of people there, and the idea is that the pellets in the round just basically disperse a little better, and they will hit more targets rather than just a 9mm or a 45 or whatever that only goes in one particular direction. So yeah, the grouping of a shotgun basically depends on its design. You can also add different things to the muzzle to make the spread different. Yeah, so this particular mission is fun. It's a little nerve-wracking sometimes because what's-her-face gets kidnapped, and you have to not just rescue her, but you also have to make sure she gets there in one piece, and not 2, 3, or more. So yes, let's continue watching.
Quickly, Bond. We need someone with your clearance to activate the manual override. Use these keypads to initiate the lockdown.
Help, James. They've got M. I hope you know what you're doing, Dallas. Thank you, Bond. It would be a good idea if you would take me to the security center now.
Yeah, you thought it was that easy? It ain't. I remember shooting her as I escorted her many times until I started just leaving my finger off the trigger after I kill all these guys. You also kind of have to babysit where she's at, which is also annoying. And sometimes, yeah, see, they just turn a corner and open fire at you. And sometimes she'll die, sometimes she won't.
You'll be safe here.
Please go and find Sir Robert now. He was heading for the vault on the ground floor.
Bond is here!
I don't really know why I do this particular move going over here. I think when I was a kid I thought that I would collect more ammo, but actually you don't. There's some at the other wall, but that entire U motion that I just made, the bottom of the U, you basically don't need. So it's just basically habit that any gamer will fall into playing these a lot. And I did play this game a lot. I wasn't very good at it at first, but I got better at it. So it's really cool with the explosions. The weapons are pretty darn close to real life. And yeah, I love this game. It's so much better than GoldenEye. Sorry. for my money, the best part of this game is what we're about to do, which is multiplayer. You didn't have bots in GoldenEye, which, yeah, that sucked when, especially because I was young during this time when this came out. I was basically, what, 11 or 12 years old when Game Gear, what am I talking about? When Nintendo 64 came out. So it wasn't like I could have my friends over to play these games. So when this particular, they called it artificial intelligence, came out, it was revolutionary because I could play different ways, I can play different modes, and you can make the computer smart, you can make it dumb. It's not like playing with human players where there's just more possibilities there because the AI back then was junk, needless to say. So there's different scenarios that you can do, there's different weapons. It's not as good as, say, Perfect Dark, where you can really specify each pickup and all that other stuff, but this is still really good. I played it for hours with my friends, by myself, with my father and my friends. Like, this was just a great game and just a fun, great game. Cannot tell you how great, so great, you'll be sick of great. This is a tactic that I use against the computer. I try to lure him towards me, and it seems to work. This particular map I am all thumbs at, but it's really fun when you have King of the Hill and Capture the Flag and stuff, because this is just more of a labyrinth than the other levels. And that's a plus for this game, is there's various multiplayer levels, and some of them are easy, others are hard, and some are medium. You know, it's perfect in terms of the map. Also, I generally use the radar and auto aim, so yeah, I'm guilty of that, but I just like to play this game. I'm not some hardcore gamer that wants to break records and stuff inside this particular game, although I have some records on some website that I can't think of the name of. I have a record in currently 2 of the world records for a game called Star Trek Holodeck Tutorial. I'm sorry, it's called Star Trek The Next Generation Advanced Holodeck Tutorial, and I did the version on Game Gear. And since last I looked, I hold at least 2 world records in that game on speedrun.com. So there was a little bit of a taste of that. We're going to change some stuff up, and here we go. There I clearly just had an elevator fail, but you can see that the use of heavy munitions is a lot of fun in this game. And it's cool because you can just follow the radar and preemptively kill them before they're even near you. This is just like the craziest gun. It's the BFG of the entire game. You can actually have it follow a target. You can lead it to a target. It's pretty cool, but yeah, this is a great level and a great mode. Here we are again at the level that I died in. This is a second try. Here I'm just slightly ahead of where I left off in the last version. So I'm going to see Mr. King, who is the guy who something blew up on, and we're about to find out what's going on. It's not really that exciting, but I just wanted to show you guys more gameplay. And yeah, all the good stuff in this game. It's altogether one of my favorite games. Of course, my favorite and the crowd favorite is Ocarina of Time, but I still think next to Perfect Dark, this is one of the best FPSs out there for the N64. Its waiting time kind of blows, but it was still a fun, great game.
James,
You're needed. Follow me.
we're under attack.
Stop! It isn't finished!
Now, Bond, we designed the grapple hook in your watch for just this kind of situation. Look for the grapple point in the ceiling above. It will serve as a lodging place for your grapple and will safely support your weight as you climb. Target is moving away, Bond.
Help me! Thank you!